boy, so good. I was talking to some others up there. I was telling her that I see the God blessing. I looked at her shirt and he said, I love you. I just told her, I love you too.
There you go. Well, you have a blessed day.
I always do. Watch I'm going to do my testimony. The reason why you probably see me, everybody always says to see me dancing. I dance so much. The small testimony to God because the doctor said I had less than 12 hours here. I came out of a 3.5 month coma blind, completely paralyzed.
Wow.
They said they were making my insurance company buy me a $13,000 cruiser. Never used it. I told them about 1 year first I was going the hell out. The jack on 1 year, I was sitting in the wheelchair looking at my legs. I heard God, he said, walk. I stood up. 1, 2, 3 steps. I ain't never stopped. I kept walking until I had my dad follow me until I counted to 1,000 steps that day.
That's all we got there.
Hell, I'm not going to count anymore, just so you can walk. I got a license and everything. I moved out and everything. I just good. I tell them, like whenever you hit the floor, you got nowhere else to go.
Watching the sunset on the Valor, going into New Orleans on the last 4-day cruise, I'm sorry. I met a guy on here, he had gotten a wreck and he was paralyzed. And the doctor said he would not even walk again, much less speak, and he was blind in one eye. I've seen him earlier on this cruise. And I asked, man, I wish I knew that dude's story. And with God's blessing, he come straight to us today on our last night and told me his story. And now he can walk, he dances, and he can speak. He's still blind in one eye. But his life, he's like, don't stop. Keep going. Don't ever stop. Just keep going. God is great. Thank you, Lord, for letting him come to me and tell me his story. I wish I would have filmed him, but I didn't think about it at the time. It just surprised me. Thank y'all for listening.
He was working as a security guard at the nuclear power plant, and Dow called him in and interviewed him because he had finished trade school for process technology. And he got his second interview, and I know he would have been hired, but before he could get hired, he bought a motorbike and came to the house to show what he bought. We said our kids were never allowed to have motorbikes. And he bought one, and 5 weeks after he bought it, got in an accident on Highway 9 in Avondale, and was in a coma for 3.5 months. 3.5 months. And he slowly came out of it, had to go through a year of therapy. It took him a year to learn to walk again. And he tried to hold jobs, but he can't hold a job. He talks too much, flirts with the ladies too much. So he tried, even as a greeter at Walmart and stuff, after a few months they let him go because, but he can't handle it. He was a very quiet, he was very shy and quiet before the accident. When he wakes up with a different personality. That's what you got now. You see him dancing. That boy would have never done that before the accident.
I know that story.
Yeah.
He was on the Lido deck.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, don't stop.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yeah. But this is his 4th or 5th. This is about his 5th cruise, I believe. But anyway, it took him a whole year to learn to walk again. And no, he had lost some vision at one time, but he's good. He got his driver's license. He had a permit for about 8 years. Well, at the beginning of this year, he got his full-fledged license. So now And I rode with him for the last 8 years. He never got in any accidents or anything. But anyway, he wants to live on his own again. So maybe that'll happen. That's 20 years ago. That was April 11th of 2002 that happened, that accident. But yeah.
1 second. I don't own the rights to this music that's playing in the background.
Really? Oh, okay. So you have to make a disclaimer.
Well, I thank you for letting me know his story.
Yeah.
I mean, he told me, and I was waiting for him to come back. I wanted to interview him again.
Yeah. Well, he, the rehab department at West Jefferson asked him to go and speak to some schools. He went to 3 or 4 schools and made a little speech to the students about the dangers of motorcycles and stuff like that. And every school he went to, they had a bunch of kids that would start crying because they knew people who had gotten killed on motorbikes and stuff like that. And he touched a lot of them. He talked all of his friends into getting rid of their motorbikes after he came out of the coma, except one. Guess what happened to that boy? He got in a motorcycle accident about 3 years ago, ended up in a home, and died last month. The one that didn't sell his motorbike. So he's against motorcycles, motorbikes. He don't want nothing to do with them. And every time somebody buys one more, we got to tell him, Daniel, leave those people alone. If he goes somewhere else and has a motorbike gang or something, he wants to go tell them all his story. Most of these people, they don't want to hear it because it's never going to happen to them, you know. It does happen.
It's a story that needs to be told.
It does need to be told.
And if y'all don't mind, I'll put it on YouTube, on my channel.
I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, I'm not making no money on it whatsoever, nothing like that. I just want people to understand what it's about.
But yeah, when people see him, they usually think he's drunk because of the way he walks. He doesn't have use of that left arm.
Right.
But he couldn't walk for a solid year. That long just
See,
to walk.
like I said, my first impression was the wrong impression, and I apologize.
Oh, hey, I understand that.
But now,
Yeah.
because when I seen him after the day, he was a good dancer.
Yeah. Oh, he goes, we went here
Like,
a couple
no,
of nights ago, and
some-
he came in and he danced a little bit, and then he moved on.
Actually, I told her, and she can, I'm not going to look at it. She will tell you, I need to know that guy's story because it's not the same what I was thinking of out there.
We were at a casino in Mississippi, in Tunica, about a year ago, and this lady that was sitting on the side of me, we played the machines and we started talking, and she said, tomorrow I'm going to buy a motorbike. I've always wanted a motorcycle. Nice looking lady, she was married, she had a teenage son, and I said, you need to talk to my son. And 5 minutes later, Daniel walks up behind, and I introduced him. He talked to her for 10 minutes, and then he walked away. She goes, God sent your son to talk to me. She says, I no longer want a motorcycle. I mean, it turns your life upside down, and everybody around you turns everybody's lives upside down.
Well, thank you for the interview.
You're welcome.
I hope it comes out. I hope the music's not too loud. And again, I don't own the rights to the music. And what's your name again?
Glenn.
Glenn?
Glenn, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Glenn.